Hi everyone, it's Christine with Black Tea News. I'm so happy today to be joined by my baby sister Tina Barr, and we're going to be talking about politics. We're talking about some funny TikTok videos and all sorts of things today. So sit back and please enjoy the show for Black Tea News. I'm excited today. Like I said, we're gonna talk about some fun things. We're gonna talk about some political things, some funny political things, and some other like non-political things too. So for those of you who do not know, Tina is she's the baby of the family.
I am the baby.
She is a baby. She is an artist as well. So
yes, we are currently in my studio and not my kitchen.
So buy her things at tinastexportraits.com.
Yep.
So I
can get a studio and not just paint my kitchen.
Yeah, that would be great. So she's also on the TikTok as well.
Yep, Tina Barr 1 is my TikTok name.
So you guys can check her out there. And I do edit her recently on my profile at Black Tea News. So you guys should be able to follow her. I've linked her a couple times, but yeah, go follow her. Go check her out. She's a funny young lass, and she's got a lot of insight on a bunch of different things. And you shall see today as we talk about certain things. And so we're gonna kick it off with this video from a very big TikToker. Her name is Victoria Hammett, and she has a lot of hot takes. She's very left wing. Sometimes it seems like she says things and maybe it's for clicks, but I don't know. I think this video is a little bit more revealing of her nature, as as Katrina pointed out, and I'll talk about that more when we show it, but after people view it, it kind of gives more insight to, I think, how she thinks and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and play this, and it's gonna be our first TikTok, and it's kind of a doozy, guys.
Oh, no, don't go back there. I just saw a snake back there. Would giving you that information be forcing something down your throat?
So I'm a Christian, and I've never addressed China's content because I didn't think that it was harmful until now. If you have to use the snake in the yard analogy, the threat of eternal damnation, to get people to convert to your religion is not worth converting to. Matthew 5:15, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. If you're a Christian and you really care about those around you, just love them and be a good person. That's all our faith calls us to do. But instead, our faith is weaponized, saying if you're not straight, you're going to hell. If you believe something different, you're going to hell. First of all, if you follow the original untranslated version of our text, you'll see that hell doesn't even exist. And second of all, telling people, believe everything that I tell you to believe, or you're going to be tortured for the rest of eternity, is not love. If you've been negatively impacted by Christianity, just know that there is no snake in the yard. You are safe and you are loved. And I am so sorry for videos like this.
No, there's literally a snake in the yard. I mean, that's a snake is literally what, caused the whole.
There's a snake in the garden.
There's a snake in the garden.
Yeah. So, obvious issue, obvious problem. Well, first off, that she's like, I'm a Christian. I've seen a couple of her videos. I don't follow her, so I can't, and I just joined TikTok, so I can't say I've seen like a plethora of them, but
yeah,
that's news to me. Is it news to you?
It's definitely news to me. When you had sent me that earlier, I was just like, yeah, like, are you actually, like, I don't want to like demean people's faith, but sometimes people will say like, oh, I'm a Christian, so they'll like demonize other people that are like actually preaching repentance and stuff, and be like, oh no, you don't have to do all that, you just need to love on people. Yes, Jesus is love. Yes, he preached forgiveness, but he also preached turning away from your sin. And if she's trying to say that hell isn't even real, or the way we think of hell isn't accurate, then what about all the scriptures about Jesus talking about hell?
Yeah.
What about when Jesus was talking about the wheat and gave the parable of the wheat and the tares, and then the multitude was confused, and then he broke it down later.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Matthew 13, and he's breaking it down to the disciples. And verse 36, and Jesus sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. And he answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. And therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire. So shall it be in the end of the world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear.
Yeah, but some people don't want to hear. When I was talking about, like, Katrina pointed out that a lot of people who don't have, like, any kind of, like, belief in, like, some kind of, like, outcome in the end, like, some kind of consequence, are, like, do whatever. Like, she stands for a lot of immoral things, and they'll say, well, just love on people. They don't mean that literally, because if you've seen her TikToks, that's not what she does. She's sarcastic with people. She believes she's correcting people.
She
but
demeans people
she
all
demeans
the time.
people all the time.
That's not
so
love.
so that's not how she lives her philosophy at all, that she's espousing. But the love is love, just love on people. People say that so there's kind of no criticism of things that they want to do, basically the things that they want to stand up for.
Yeah.
I heard Jesse Duplantis say that he was arguing with some Christians about something. That can be controversial sometimes, but I'm not going to bring it up because I don't want the comments to be like, get you distracted. But anyway, he said, I don't look to the scriptures to pacify my flesh. I look to the scriptures to crucify my flesh.
Yeah.
So when they're like, love is love, just love on people, that's not even her philosophy. But again, it also, like, I don't know what denomination she thinks she is, like, to not believe that there is a hell at all. But I'm just like, what do you think Jesus died for?
Yeah, what was the point? What's the point of salvation if there isn't something to be saved from?
I'm like, the cross was not fun. I'm like, you ungrateful child. Like, Jesus was not like, if it's possible, let this bitter cup be, passed for me. Like,
he literally knew what he had to do, literally knew his mission,
and literally didn't want to do it. Like,
he didn't want to do it. Like, he didn't want to do it. He's just like,
grateful people. Like, why? Like, why would he do it? Like. So that's weird, but also this philosophy of thinking it's immoral to warn people of, like, some kind of danger or something like that. That's just crazy, and it lets me know that this person, if you really, really believe that, to say, hey, there's going to be consequences if you just live any kind of way. If you think that's immoral, I'm like, you're probably not going to be a good mom. You're probably not going to be a good teacher. You're probably not going to be a good boss. You couldn't run a social media company because there's terms and services, and you have to let people know if you violate terms and guidelines, are going to be kicked off. So you have to let people know that there's going to be some kind of consequence to an action. Yeah. So it's not immoral to let people know that there is an outcome if you live a life that's, wicked. So that's just like an inconsistent, silly kind of philosophy that I'm sure that I know that she doesn't adhere to in real life. Yeah.
And it's not the way Jesus even taught, or like people, like sinners were drawn to Jesus, and the people that, like, wanted to stay in power or wanted, like, a social revolution instead of a spiritual revolution, like, they were the ones that cast Jesus aside. They were the ones that didn't want to hear his message. But the people that actually wanted change, wanted healing.
Lift up your Bible. Show them, like.
I take this serious.
Like, that's like a legit, like, study, like, Bible with, like, sticky notes and, like,
and annotations
and tape. Like,
it's
tape.
literally taped together. I've had this since I was 10.
So,
but just that's not the way Jesus operated when he was here on earth. Sinners were drawn to him, and they were drawn away from their sin.
Yeah.
When they tried to stone the woman that was caught up in adultery, first of all, if people were caught up in adultery, the man and the woman got stoned. So first of all, they were doing it wrong anyway.
Yeah.
And then he told her, he was like, he who without sin cast the first stone. So they all left. And then he said, go and sin no more. People love to say, oh, don't cast stones, but they don't like to say, stop doing what you're doing. They don't like to be corrected. They don't like, people want to drive 90 when it's in a snowstorm, and they don't want to be told, like, hey, slow down. You could end people's lives. What you're doing is dangerous. I was talking to someone from our church about, the parable of the sheep, because Reckless Love was like had came over. I know that song is very controversial, but that song was playing, and I told her I was just thinking about that parable, because I keep getting recommended weird things about farmers and sheep and whatever. But
recommended? You mean like on your
TikTok or YouTube? It's just like sheep things just keep coming up on my timeline. But I thought of this article that I had read a while ago, but it was maybe like happened in like the mid 2000s. But it was in some European country, but these like a bunch of different families had like a ton of sheep, and like somebody was watching the sheep one day when they had like left, and one of the sheep had like went over a cliff. And sheep are dumb; they just follow whoever's in front, and so then all the other sheep fell off a cliff, and like. There was just hundreds of sheep bodies just stacked on top of each other, and like, I know this is really weird, but I'm gonna get to my point in a second. Okay. There were just like hundreds of dead sheep just piled on top of each other, and so all these families were like out of like thousands of euros or whatever of their money, but and so I was just talking to someone at my church because she was braiding my hair about it, and I said, God going and running off to in that parable to save that one sheep, like it's about saving that lost soul, but also that soul could lead thousands or hundreds off to damnation.
Yeah.
So saving that one isn't just about the one. Like, thank God that you are that one, but that one could save another 99.
Yeah, and unfortunately she has like a really big platform, and there were some people like, oh, thank you for saying something like this, because I remember like that the concept of hell, or the concept, or what they were saying. So it's just like, she says she's a Christian, but I'm like, I know there's like, she probably should stop reading left-leaning articles and go read what Jesus said.
Yeah.
First of all, but there's a lack of relationship there, because if you feel that any sort of correction like that, or a warning like the snake in the garden analogy or whatever that was the spawn this whole thing, if you feel like that is about control rather than Jesus giving you a blueprint, or God trying to help you, give you a blueprint for an abundant life, being compassionate in the, I don't want you to go to hell, so I'm here to save you, like I'm warning, like then I just see that as a lack of relationship too.
Yeah.
And I guess the last point I want to kind of cover with this is, she said that being a Christian, you're called to just love people, and that's just, you do love people, but like
that's not the Great Commission. The Great Commission is, if you love me, like, feed my sheep, take care of them.
But he also said, if you love me, keep my commandments.
Yes.
So so if you love God, it's not just about being a loving. Well, sometimes people think something like lying, like they think it's compassion. It's not compassionate to lie to people. Like, it's just kind of different philosophy of what we deem as good, but we're not good. Our morality is supposed to be not what's subjective for us. Especially as a Christian, you should know that you should be focused on what the Lord said. So it's going from her own judgment and deeming what the warnings that God would give, or prophets would give, or Jesus himself would give to people, and saying that's not right. That's just like blasphemous.
It is. It's straight up.
And
straight up blasphemous.
So, I mean, and Jesus also said, like, deny yourself if you want to follow me. He said, why do you call me Lord, but you don't do the things that I say? Like, so there is an obligation to live according to his word if you consider yourself to be a Christian. So it's not just like, be nice to everyone, guys, but you be nice and loving by, like, when a parent corrects a child for their benefit, it can seem harsh. Yeah. But is it because they love their child? Or when a teacher corrects a student, like, do you not want them to be able to learn and to grow? Yeah. And you can be embarrassed or feel whatever kind of way, but when people do things out of love, you need to. I mean, she's young, but she's 22. You got to think a little bit harder on these. You're 25.
I'll be 26 in less than 2 weeks.
So she's I know that can be a big time gap, I guess, because she's probably in college or fresh out, or I don't know her background, but just think a little harder, Victoria. And like I said, this is straight blasphemous, and I'm gonna do a direct TikTok response to this. But yeah, that was just unbelievable. Not unbelievable, but. But it just told me a lot about her. It told me a lot about her, for sure. Okay, so let's go on. This one's kind of funny. Still in the realm of, like, a little bit of religion, but I don't think you've seen this one unless you've, like, went spying in my like pages.
I have not went spying.
Okay. This one's kind of funny.
So I just watched this religious knockoff of High School Musical, Sunday School Musical.
On the fount of every blessing, on the fount of every blessing, come to sing thy words, to teach me some.
The movie actually opens with a full minute of static, but it doesn't take long for things to heat up.
Order of mitosis.
Interphase.
I love how they cut away from the only exciting moment in the movie to show this girl studying for a biology exam that isn't even at Sunday school.
If you ever get overwhelmed, you can do what your mother used to do. Simply put a piece of bubble.
I'm sorry. I kind of messed that up, but your face is so funny. I was trying to put your face on the screen.
Oh my god.
Oh, I gotta play it again.
So I just watched this religious knockoff of High School Musical, Sunday School Musical.
On the fount of every blessing, on the fount of every blessing, come to sing thy words, to teach me some.
The movie actually opens with a full minute of static, but it doesn't take long for things to heat up.
Order of mitosis.
Interphase.
I love how they cut away from the only exciting moment in the movie to show this girl studying for a biology exam that isn't even at Sunday school.
If you ever get overwhelmed, you can do what your mother used to do. Simply put a piece of bubble gum in her mouth and she would blow a big bubble.
I didn't know she did that.
Yeah, she did that.
Who doesn't do that? Who?
I'm pretty sure they're improvising this whole movie.
Yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that.
I love really bad, like, Christian knockoffs of things.
Okay, but he reviews, I guess he finds, like, knockoff videos from, like, the dollar store, and he reviews them. Like, he saw one that was, like, a knockoff of Frozen and other films, so to get one that's, like, Bible Sunday School, which is especially funny because, you know, I wrote, like, a musical.
I remember.
And it was not like that.
It
was
wasn't.
quite good, I think. Call Me Hollywood. Not for a dollar, like, knockoff film, though, but, like...
Maybe not Hollywood. Maybe Daily Wire Studios.
Oh!
Or whatever they are now.
Oh, for sure. Perhaps me and Andrew Clavin could clean it up and we could go from there.
Yes.
Ben Shapiro could, like, play his violin. Yeah, I wrote it some time ago. Yeah, but it had a plot that did not involve chewing gum. So this guy's pretty funny because he finds, like I said, knockoff things and reviews them. So there's more. Oh. Like he did a knockoff Beauty and the Beast. But I don't think I saw that video. Watched it, but like he did knockoff Frozen and stuff. But the bubblegum line of like, who gets paid to write these scripts? How does that happen?
I don't know, but who doesn't blow big bubbles like when you have like specifically like bubble gum? I mean, if you have like
I didn't know she did.
Like it's called bubble gum. You do it for bubbles. It's not like Winter Fresh or Orbit to clean your mouth. It's bubble gum.
Yeah, that one. I'm glad that made you laugh. I'm really happy it made you laugh. So here's one. Here's another funny one. I know how much you like this movie, so I picked this out especially for you.
What? You suck! You suck! Yeah, I'm going with my people.
For those of you who don't know, she loves like the Prince of Egypt, which I'm glad that's getting a lot more love because I remember when we saw it. I mean, I don't know, the church people were really uppity about it. Well, at least I remember Dad being kind of uppity, like, you call that a burning bush? Like he was like so offended by the little bush, like, because it didn't have more like stature, I guess. And so I'm just like, so I went back and watched that scene, and it was like the animation is like super beautiful. It's a great moment, and then he like like, call that a just like they were so like uppity about it. I think Mama. Oh wow, that's a noise. Like, so like I remember like
I apologize to your eardrums for that dinosaur screech.
So, and I think like Mom Pat might have been like, I don't know, it seemed like people were just so. I'm like, the music seemed really good. I'm like, I liked it. Like
Hans Zimmerman wrote some of the scores. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
Man, that Plague song.
I knew you're gonna get to the Plague
song. It is. People might think I'm weird for specifically liking the Plague song. Like it's not like it's not the best song out of like the whole score. Like Deliver Us is like, Deliver Us is like tears. But I mean, Heaven's Eyes has like great lyrics and it like really makes you like reflect. But that Plague song, it hits.
Heaven's Eyes is a really good song too. But of course, Miracles is a good song, but Deliver Us is just like a great like opening sequence just in general of like animation anyway. Very beautiful style. But people do come for it now because they say it was like the cast was like whitewashed, whatever. It's just like, do you guys not realize how voice acting works?
Why is it what I'm sorry, I short-circuited there for a second. Why does it matter what color someone is if they're just doing a voice? Like, I don't...
Because our world is obsessed with the dumbest things. Like
it's cool if, like a, Steven Yeun got to play, like, a Korean guy in Invincible, whatever.
He's not... They made him Korean. He's not Korean in the comics.
He's not Korean in the comics?
No, he's not. They made him Korean probably for Steven Yeun. He's not Korean.
Someone told me he was.
I looked back at his mom. She did not quite look like that, so I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
Oh.
I might be wrong. I have to double check, but
okay.
I did look back and like, yeah, his mom didn't look like that.
Yeah. Never mind. But people play different character things. I mean, in a different show, Steven Yeun's like a cat person on that Owen Rogers show that I like. I just. I don't know, but it shouldn't matter what color you are if you're doing a voice, unless you're, it just, unless you sound bad with the accent, then it's like, okay, get someone that actually speaks the language.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So TikTok was doing this commercial, and And this person is doing a commentary about the commercial because you couldn't like save the video. I was gonna screenshot it maybe, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go through all that work. But someone else did it, and they did commentary, so we're gonna play that, and we're going to add some commentary when she's done thrashing this silliness.
Just, of course.
Having colored hair doesn't make you unprofessional. Having colored hair doesn't make you unprofessional. I can check your vitals in any shade. I can wear the rainbow at any age. I can be creative and still handle business. 'Cause having colored hair doesn't make you one-dimensional.
Don't get me wrong, plenty of jobs out there like owning your own business where you can do what you want, being a tattoo artist, being like a barista, maybe a massage therapist, you know, things like that. Obviously a hairstylist. People want to see what the hairstylist can do, so that makes sense. However, in the more so corporate world, when you're representing a company and you agree to that job, you are agreeing to their like rules and regulations and how they want you to be presented in the public and how you represent the company. I have silver hair, but it's like a blonde, so it's within a reasonable color of uniqueness and color. I don't take you seriously with orange hair.
Yeah, I don't want to sound too judgmental, but if your hair is more than one color, I judge your life choices. Not to sound
like
too judgmental,
well,
but like
I mean, like her, that ombre that she had was like nice or whatever.
yeah,
but like, look, it's there's
like
jobs
purple
where
and like orange or something. It's just like why. You people are walking around looking like what toddlers did to the Toy Story. Toy Story through what they did to the toys, just dunking them in paint and then just thrashing them around. That's what some of you look like, especially if you like go out with like colored hair and then like you don't brush it, which I see a lot, especially working where I work. Like people just come in and they just look so unkept and it's dyed multicolors and it just looks like Kool-Aid packets just spilled out of your cabinet and you just walked out the house and you were like, this is fine.
like the burning house dog. Like, this is fine.
Yeah.
No, but like there's certain settings where you can be very creative with your dress, with your style, the hair and stuff. But there's too many people who just see any sort of people asking you to kind of conform to some kind of like standard as an attack. Like it's oppressive. Like there's this one person on TikTok. She has all these like piercings on her face. And her hair is colored. She's really, really big. And she, you know, she's like, if anyone wouldn't hire me because of how I look, I wouldn't want to work for that company anyway. But she also says she wouldn't want to work anywhere unless she was making $50 an hour. So she's just, that kind of tells, that kind of just tells you the kind of person that she is. But when people feel like, I don't know, there's any sort of structure and a request for uniformity, then it's some kind of like personal attack, but that's just not the case, you know. If you're not willing to comply with your company's standards, whatever that they set in that regard, then yes, you are unprofessional.
Yeah.
And you can go find a new profession where that is acceptable. But if you're working in a corporate setting and they don't want you to have multi-shaded like rainbow hair, then that's their prerogative.
Yeah.
Like, there was one store where my sisters worked at, and she, you know, braids were fine, but there was one person, their hair was like ratty, and she's just like, can you like, you know,
clean up your braids?
Yeah, and so
redo them.
And she ended up was really, really kind of too sensitive about it, especially like for her age, but. Just be respectful of your company's policies. Well, you can always start your own and do your own thing, but
but
as long as you have to be on this earth working for someone else, you are going to have to conform to other people's rules. Just like your parents had rules, and I'm sure like if you had some kind of structure in your life, you had to adhere to those rules. But
and some things are just not worth fighting about or fighting like a company is not just going to be cool with you, like, coming in with political t-shirts or pins or whatever. Like, they don't want what your personal beliefs or whatever to offend the customers or rub customers the wrong way or turn away business. And so it's...
Or sometimes people talk about that stuff too much and they don't realize how that they're, like, offending other, like, you know, people that they work with. So people need to be really careful about those things.
Yeah.
So, just if you're at work, just try to be a bit more respectful. And, it's not always a personal attack.
Is that a personal attack or something?
Yeah, so you don't have to, like, freak out on every little thing, but, you know, I'm not surprised that TikTok had this. Well, so I don't know. I mean, TikTok didn't make it, but it's just a sponsored video somewhere, and yeah, I just like it's not if you're not willing to look professional in the standards of the company set, then yes, you are unprofessional.
Yeah,
and there's other professions you can go adhere to. It's just really that simple. This one's a funny one. Yeah. Yeah. I switched just accidentally. But yeah, that was pretty...
it actually looks better this way, because I think before we weren't, like, looking at each other when we turned.
Look at that. Look at that.
We solved things!
We solved things together, accidentally.
Yeah.
That one was pretty funny. I knew you would like that one. I knew you would like that one.
Because people always talk about the cold side of the pillow. I'm just like, what is wrong with you freaks? Like, who just subconsciously does that in the middle of the night? And like, it was just great. Because I'm just like, who does that? The doctor's just like, what?
The coma patient does it, But people do kind of do some crazy stuff sometimes in their sleep, obviously. I mean, not to that regard. That's obviously just a joke. But,
yeah.
You know, people can, like, do different things. And people get excited or whatever. But it's just, like, responses. But, like, but if they're turning over the pillows, I think you're being conned, bruh. You better go check that out. So, now this next one, I'm sure that you've all probably seen this clip and heard it. And I think it's so funny that NBC actually put it on TikTok. So this is what's going on with Kamala Harris.
Let me just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, you know, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
What's that got to do with the price of tea in China?
I don't know.
Oh, we're flipped again.
Oh, it's okay. I'll try to fix it again. Yeah.
It's just me now. Show. Welcome to TinasTextPortraits.com live.
You're no longer alone.
Oh.
You're not alone.
Oh.
So I think it's so funny that NBC actually put it on there. They probably, like, hurt their soul because the media is, like, so in the tank for Biden and Harris. They're just so, like, shamelessly in the tank for them. But they're probably like, this is too good not to put on TikTok. Because I've seen so many people use that sound, talk about Kamala, so it was probably just too golden.
We've been there. You haven't. I haven't been to Europe either.
Yeah, that was just so amazing. But you know, she's done like stuff like that the whole like time. She's been an awful candidate, an awful like politician, so disingenuous. The entire time she had to duck out of the presidential primaries before they like actually started voting, so she wouldn't get like smacked around in California because that's her like home state, and just look like a dang fool. She's polling 2%.
Yeah.
I love how Tulsi, just smacked her around nice and good.
Sometimes I just go back and watch that clip.
I think it's so funny how black people
days.
Or just people are like, oh my gosh, she locked up all these like brothers in California, and then she gets elected. They become like the vice president. It's like, oh, Chucks and pearls. I always like Chucks and pearls. It's like, bruh, you didn't like her like 5 minutes ago. Like, I didn't forget about that. Like, she had no support. So, Joe Biden, it seems like he's losing it a little bit more every day. And I think they want to prep her to kind of be the next thing or whatever, but she's obviously not there. She definitely couldn't run for president. I mean, she's probably going to run for president 2024. But that would be a bad decision, I think.
Yeah.
She's just, how can she still be so bad? I don't understand. Like, we've been to the border. Why doesn't she just go?
Because they probably don't want to draw attention to the fact that they're doing a horrible job with the border.
But how much worse can the job that they've done be? Like, they've blocked out, like, media and press, made them leave. They had the overflowing capacity. While COVID was a bigger thing, it's not as big as it was, like, when all this first started.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how much worse it could be with her just not going, because there's this narrative of her not going, and then, like, we've been to the border, and then Lester was just like, but you haven't been, and she said, I haven't been to Europe either. Just, what is, so people have, I don't know if you see the trend, people are like, you like Kamala logic, and like, we've been vaccinated, we are vaccinated, and like, well, you're not vaccinated, like, and I haven't been to Europe either, so that's what, so that's a trend right now, that people are using that sort of logic, like, I haven't been to Europe either. So, which is hilarious. And, but that's their example that they look toward. So, like I said, I think they're probably like, oh gosh, we don't want to do this, but this is like so clickable. It's so viral. We like have to put this out.
We need the views. No one's watching us anymore.
That's true. That is totally darn true. So they probably did that.
We're not getting those Trump bucks anymore. We hated him, but he was giving us so much money. We were rolling around in it like Scrooge McDuck, and now our coffers are empty. So, sorry, Kamala.
Yeah, but that was pretty incredible. If you haven't seen that, it's just amazing, just amazing. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna move on with the next video.
Moving right along.
This one's a short one.
President Trump, if you see this, please save us.
Yeah. I'm glad that people are,
waking up,
yeah, and just missing them.
Well, I'm assuming that person was probably a Trump person, but probably the audience.
I follow Biden supporters posting their L's on Twitter, and people are.
Oh yeah, that's a fun page.
I love it so much.
That's a fun page if you're not following that one. But cost of things are going up. Like, it's so funny when people are like, gas is going up because of Biden. Like, if you post something about how gas is higher now than it was while under Trump, Facebook will fact check you so hard, so fast. Like, it's missing context. It's like, why is it missing context? It's true. It's literally true.
It costs
like,
more.
why do you need the context to just push your narrative like that? It's just true. I know you find it inconvenient, but it's just the truth. Just deal with it. So, it is what it is on that front. But like steel and lumber and just so many things have gone up. And people are like, well, it's the gas. I've heard people say it's the gas stations that set the prices, and it's like they set the prices of like what the market dictates, what they have to. I mean, there's supply and demand issues, but people are like, well, more people are traveling now because of COVID's less or whatever. So yeah, prices do always go up in the summer. That's pretty much true.
Yeah.
But when you do things like saying we're not going to renew like leases of land where they drill oil, then you got like supply problems like coming into play. So, so food's going up, and we always knew that food was going to go up, and the supply chains were broken. And when the pandemic first started, there was an article that I read that was like, basically we're going to have worldwide sort of famine. Because, and I was just like, well, not so much like maybe here in the U.S., but like other like countries or whatever would be in danger of because of just kind of the halting things. I'm just like, it sounds like lockdowns are immoral.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's not a good idea. It's just the lockdowns. They just broke down like so many things. Even like working in retail, like I say, where I work in retail, like customers, like all stores are like having a problem with like getting product in, and then they're like, well, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? And then it's just like, well, most of the products are made from China. They couldn't ship things out to us, and it they have to ship things off on these big tank carriers, and then it takes a long time. Things have to sit in port, and then there's like a shortage on truck drivers too, so things aren't getting to the warehouses, and then the warehouses don't have enough workers like to process things, and they can't get it to us. So that's why I don't have your shoes in a size 14.
like, yeah, it's really that simple.
Everything was shut down everywhere, and a lot of the product that a lot of stores have was the stuff that they had in warehouses before, and in the next coming months, we're probably going to start getting some stuff that was, made from overseas. But really the solution is, well, things shouldn't have been shut down for so long, but if you want your products and stuff to not be affected by overseas companies, just make your crap in America.
Yeah, and like can drive the prices of stuff up, but at some point, I was hoping, like, at least maybe with all this stuff that's happened, that people will try to make some more stuff in America, especially with, like, nations like China being so immoral and aggressive with so many things. I think it's so, I don't know if you saw, but, like, Biden and them, Trump had people looking into, like, the investigation of the origins of the virus or whatever, and Biden they cut out like that from like maybe it was the DOJ or something like that, or one of the organizations like in the federal government to kind of just shut down the investigation. And so they asked Jen Psaki about it, and she's just like, well, who is working on that? And just like who, which is like in the pocket of like China. So yeah, it's all very conspiratorial, but it's just like, but the conspiracies are right though. It's like the conspiracies are correct.
The conspiracies have been hitting the pockets.
Off the chain lately.
Off the chain.
Okay, so this one's a political one,
Next
but
thing
also
we're gonna find out the birds actually aren't real.
We might. Okay, so this one's a bit funny. We're going to go to the next video.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Yo, did you guys know that if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then you're not black?
Oh, shit. Let me check my credit score.
You're out of the frame.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when when that story broke, one of my Sabrina, she's like in between us. I mean, there's like two sisters in between us, but Sabrina was so mad about it because she's like, basically she's saying, y'all gonna vote for me, there's nothing, and it's already like a done deal. And I guess it was true because a lot of people just did do it. And he was just like, I don't have to parent you guys, I don't have to cater you guys, I just expect you Negroes to do what I want you to.
Yeah.
And
people
so
just fell in line.
Yeah, people did fall in line. People who said they were upset and were upset, but they still fell in line.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that were upset and still voted for that man. It's just like, you say all this stuff like Trump is racist, Trump is this, Trump is that, Trump. You take his chopped up and stitched together pieces of quotes that CNN or whoever did to make him sound bad, but it's just like straight up, in context, Biden says racist stuff all the time. Says, or just like crazy stuff all the time. And it's just like,
totally cool.
It's like, oh yeah, no, this is fine. This is cool. Yeah.
No, I love how people will be like, you'll list things about Biden that are like super recent, and like, well, don't you believe people can change and we can forgive people, have grace? And they're like, well, in the way back when, in the days of Trump, when his dad owned some property, he was named on it in a civil rights suit. And I'm just like, okay, but Biden said we weren't black like a few days ago, so
yeah.
Like he said black entrepreneurs have a hard time, don't know how to get like lawyers and like accountants, like
we don't know how to use the internet.
Yeah, he's like he's lying to y'all about Jim Crow, saying like not being able to figure out not being able or needing to have ID to vote is the new Jim Eagle. Oh, Jim Crow makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle, whatever the heck that means. So, but it's like,
TikTok you did.
but we have to forgive. We have to give him some grace. I'm just like,
you people believe in grace when it's convenient. You believe in forgiveness when you want to. There's no standard.
You just want to excuse the person on your side, which I don't get Biden stands. There are some people out there. I was arguing with someone who was like quoting word for word DNC talking points. They literally said that the Recovery Act was like bringing people out of poverty, whatever like direct thing Biden said. They were just repeating it. I accuse them of not being a real person because they didn't have any videos and they had a black picture, and I was just like, not a black picture, it was a picture of a black woman. I'm just like, I think you're some white person at the DNC just writing stuff. Like
it could be.
I'm like,
they're doing digital blackface.
I'm like,
which is a
I asked him like, can you prove that you're a real person? I will apologize. Just post a video. I will apologize. I promise I will. But they wouldn't like prove themselves. But so I'm like, it could have been a DNC staffer just trying to get on the tickety talk. Like I don't put it past them because it was just like the stuff they were saying was just out of this world. I'm just like, I cannot believe that. I understand people didn't like Trump, but I'm just like, I cannot believe that there are real stands out there. Like there's people who put on their clown makeup and get on TV and lie all the time, but just like normal people, like why?
They want to be a part of the circus.
Why?
They sitting in the stands and they want to take the popcorn grease and become one of the clowns.
It's just super, super, super crazy. Okay, so let's move on. This is one of my good buddies. This video we're about to play, Man of Justice 007. He was on the show like 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So if you guys haven't seen that episode of Let's Tiktalk about it, you can go back and watch that live. We had a lot of great discussions, and he's going to be talking about this current news story of something that happened, just like blatant media bias and them lying and it coming back around that Trump was like justified and right the whole time. It's media does whatever the media wants to do to make Trump look bad.
I mean, check this out. Y'all remember this here? Y'all remember this? Everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe they gassed protesters so Trump can have a photo op with a Bible. Let me just sit this right here. Really? When are you dummies gonna understand the media has been misleading y'all? I don't have anything else to say about this. I can add colorful commentary, but it is proven time and time again. The media will lie to you to manipulate you to believe whatever you think you're believing to be fact when it comes out. Somebody threw a firework.
Yep. So I remember when that happened, people were just flipping out as they were. First of all, it's crazy that people talk about like the January 6th thing. That was terrible. Okay. But people were like doing crazy stuff in DC, And Trump had to, at one point, Trump did go like to the bunker.
And they were calling him Bunker Boy.
They're teasing, calling him Bunker Boy. And so, but when the Congress people had to be rushed out or whatever, which all that stuff was awful, but it's just like, can we get like any sort of consistency here, like at all? And so the whole thing with the Bible and him going to the church and holding it, like I got into a discussion with some conservatives or maybe not conservatives, but other Republicans who thought that was wrong using the Bible in the prop as a kind of way. I'm just like, symbolism is important. Presidents they talk about symbolism and stuff. That's why they're always claiming they're mad about Trump tweeting, because they think he should set a better example or do with a ton of different things. And that's true. But there is like good symbolism stuff that you just go and do as a commander in chief. So the church that he went to was on fire the night before, and it's like one of the oldest churches, like, is it in the country or just in DC or whatever, but he went there after there were the riots and stuff, and he held up the Bible, and he was just like, we're gonna build back better, or whatever, some kind of phrase that he uses like all the time. It wasn't controversial, but people acted like it was the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, he cleared out protest, so they didn't like that he did that at all, but they probably, like, I don't know, start hissing and slithering on the ground when the media sees the Bible anyway. And so and so then they were just like, they cleared out everything. So I'm glad it made me laugh like that. So they're like, oh, they cleared out and smoked, tear gas these people so they could do the photo op. So it turns out that wasn't true, and now they're finally admitting it because so much time has passed that they feel that it's okay to like just kind of be honest about what happened. I wonder if maybe someone filed some kind of, I don't know, Freedom of Information Act. Maybe that's why they're being kind of honest. Like, did you? I don't know if you noticed, but like before the Fauci emails broke, there were like media people kind of softening up to the idea of like the lab, thing.
Yeah,
Probably because they knew got wind of what was some of the stuff in the emails and knew that was going to be a topic of discussion. So these people are so blatantly dishonest.
They are. And
so,
they just did Trump dirty. It's like everything he did was wrong. Even feeding the koi fish. Him dumping it at the end. They were like, he just dumped, and the fish are gonna choke and die, and
yeah. Like, he walked in front of the queen, or
he had 2 scoops of ice cream. 2 scoops.
Yeah,
and every picture of Biden for the rest of his life is 2 like chocolate chip or whatever he eats, and sunglasses. Like, I'm cool.
Has Biden given you any ice cream, America? I don't think so. I don't think so. So, like, I don't know. They just did Trump so dirty in a lot of different ways, and we just mentioned silly things, but like the church thing, the Bible thing, it became a pretty big lie for the media to pull off, because it was all part of a grand scheme of their narrative that they were pushing like the entire year. They did whatever they could to get this man out of office. That's one reason why I do what I do with Black Teen News, to kind of but to push back on this media narrative and this monopoly that they have. And I keep telling Republicans who are so focused on like election fraud and all this other kind of stuff, I'm like, look, if you can't like see the other dangers that are present as far as like with a media like monopoly on what they do with the news and then Hollywood and all these kind of means, social media, how we consume information or culture or whatever, if we can't make a dent there, I don't care what you do, we won't win elections. Yeah. So are you really like free to make free choices when you're like having like, I don't know, North Korean type propaganda on TV? It's pretty bad. Like, Biden straight up told people, like, I'm not going to answer your questions about the Supreme Court because I don't want to get distracted. With what? The truth? The truth is the distraction, like something that the voters want to do. No, they don't deserve to know. That's what he said. And I guess props to Biden, he made a good point. Like, I don't want to change. Like, why? I want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. Why am I going to give you guys something that would clearly hurt me? Like, and the media is like, okay, that makes sense. So, totally crazy that the media just got away with a bunch of this garbage stuff that they did the entire year. Oh my gosh. So we're at our last video that I have now. So I'm actually gonna do a broadcast. It's gonna be like an hour long this time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Probably because I'm not a new person in your life.
I don't know.
I mean, all these other guests, they were,
Yeah, I guess, like, getting to know them a little bit and so on.
Asking about their lives and their background and stuff, and you've been here for my whole background.
Yeah, we could have talked the whole hour about the Victoria video, but I did move it along.
Let's go back to it!
We can go back to it in another hour. But, no, but, so this one is, it's kind of sick.
Do we want my actual reaction recorded?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put your face on a dual screen so we can see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to.
All right.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm sorry, man, but your goldfish died. I forgot to feed him, and I had to flush him. I'm sorry.
I don't have a goldfish. I have a dog.
John, where's my dog? John, there's no way. I'm so sorry. Jasper, where's my dog, John? I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was a goldfish. How, John? How does someone mix that up? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, no.
I thought it was a goldfish, and I've never been to Europe. Oh my god!
I'm glad you didn't see that.
I have so many questions. What type of dog? Like, how did the dog get into small enough parts to get into the toilet? Like, what did he do to the dog? What did he do to the dog?
I'm sorry for people who love animals. Like, these girls are sick. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Are you though?
I'm
sorry that you love animals.
Like I said, it was sick, but
yeah, I have so many questions. I'm probably gonna find that TikTok and just maybe message the guy and just be like, I've got some questions.
I don't think you can message someone if you're not following them, but I guess you could just leave like paragraphs of comments or whatever.
Or maybe just stitch it and be like, I've got some questions.
Like, please answer them.
Was it like a Chihuahua or like something small like a Pomeranian? And like, what kind of suction you got on your toilet, man? Like,
yeah, I would definitely not, like, I'm glad I don't have friends who are that dumb, I guess. And he said, I'm sorry, I thought it was a goldfish. Like,
it's got no fins, got no gills, it barks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So there's plenty of interesting videos on TikTok. Like, I'm on political kind of side of TikTok. I mean, it's all one app, but people like call different sections of different things. There's politics, there's anime, there's Christianity, there's bees.
Oh yeah, did you see like the drama on like bee TikTok?
Yeah, I did. From like people who are like beekeepers and stuff, and like there was one video I thought about playing, and it was like some guy like, because there's like this one woman who go like, I went to this place and they had more bees than I thought covered, and it's very soft spoken kind of thing, and that was the day of saving the bees, and so someone was like had cheese in their bed, when I woke up in the morning, there was more cheese in my bed than normal. So it was just like a parody of that, but I thought maybe it would be too much to kind of explain, but I guess I'm explaining it now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just thought it would be kind of
What a nice,
weird, out of place.
nice day of saving the cheese.
Yes, that's exactly how it ended. They scooped it all up and like a bag, put it back in the bag. Like,
was it shredded?
Yeah, it was shredded. So anyway,
shredded cheese be hitting different, especially like when you're making something with it, and it's like a little for the tacos and a little for me.
So there's lots of fun videos on TikTok. I didn't think I would get on the TikTok, but
the TikTok.
I like to distinguish myself as an elder person on the app. So the TikTok,
tickety talk,
the
as Mom calls
TikTok.
it.
Yeah, I like to call it things to make myself an old person on the app.
Yeah, because you think it's yeet.
Yeet?
I'm using it wrong on purpose because I saw it in a TikTok video about how a guy likes to. He's probably like your age or maybe my age, but he just says he likes to use Gen Z phrases wrong.
But someone did comment on one of my videos like, "Yes, you give me hope for the future." As a very wise young person, I'm just like, I'm turning 32 tomorrow, which my birthday was yesterday, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, like you're not too much younger than I am." And so it's like, yeah, like thank you for like the compliment, but I don't want to give you false hope. Like we're doomed. Sorry to burst
I'm a millennial.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
Not a Gen Z.
Yeah. So
anytime someone like assumes I'm a Gen Z, I'm a little bit offended, but I'm like near the cutoff line, so I can't be like too much. I don't know. People be thinking I'm like 19, 18. I'm just like, no. I know what a floppy disk is.
Yeah, I do as well, obviously, because you know.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that is the end of our tickety talks.
Yes, our tickety talks.
Everything that I had there, I timed it out quite nicely because we are just now like over the hour mark. And that was like always usually my goal for my other videos, but they became like 2 hours, 2.5, and then there was like an after party that you guys couldn't see. So I'm glad to have spent this time with you, my dear sister.
Yes.
It was fun. We had laughter.
Are you a wedding son?
Yes. There's this meme of like I don't know, a kid playing a game or something, and it's like a game you can't win or whatever. He's just like, "Are you a wedding son?" And so we just say that to each other like all the time now.
I'll call her instead of saying hello. Are you a wedding son?
So anyway, I'm going to encourage you guys all to go to Tina's page. I think when I do this overlay, it's going to pop on my face, but this is her. Yep, that is totally Tina.
Yeah, she's Christina.
Yeah, so please go follow her website.
Tina.
I've got a Tina's TextPortraits.com. Yeah, she makes teeny tiny portraits. It's text portraits because she'll like draw a picture of you. And then she'll do it out of like a phrase or your name or something. So she has.
I guess you could superimpose that over us.
Yeah, but she has those on her website.
Superimposed.
And so that's what she started off doing. But then she got into painting, and so she's got big paintings, but she's got a ton of little teeny tiny itty bitty ones. And we're behind like a really big one, but the whole thing isn't in view. But
I actually made this one. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. For your, your mermaid album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I write books.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes music for those books.
Yeah, so go ahead and check out Tina's stuff. And I'm going to do my overlay, which is now on Tina because we switched positions.
Yes.
So please go to blacktnews.com. I've got merchandise there that you guys can check out. I've got articles that you guys should check out. I've got one on gender and sex that's really good, especially during this time of the year. I've got one on reparations that I think is very fun.
Yes.
You guys should go check that out and share it. And there's other things. You guys can check out the schedules, like when I'm going to be interviewing different people and who's going to be next on, Let's Talk About It. And I'm looking forward to some of the guests I'm going to have in the future. It's going to be about to be a lot of big changes for Black Teen News as far as like scheduling in the podcast and like just consistency of like filming things throughout the week. And so I'm really, really excited about where we're going to go with that. So please make sure that you go to the website, follow me at Black Teen News on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and on Twitter, it's at True Black Tea. That's the only one that's different right now. So thank you guys so much for following the program and watching today. And especially since we can't do this live, but I thank you guys for watching it, during the premiere and then watching this back later. I appreciate that. And we're probably going to have the same kind of deal next week because it's Juneteenth and I got things to do. Freedom! No, I'm gonna be going like across the state to like a Juneteenth party with some like liberty-minded friends. So, but then the following week we'll have a Sir Redbeard who's going to be my guest. So, he's another friend on the Tickety Talk. So, and that will be live once again. So please follow us again next week and keep up to date with what we do during the week. And go to the website, look at all that kind of material. See where I'm on the platforms and the articles and the merchandise. Get the merchandise. And I had a great time, my dear sister.
I had a great time, my dear sister.
My bosom sister. Bosom sister.
It's from a movie. We're not. It's weird. Well, we are weird. But
we're not weird. We promise. No. It's
Austin Land.
Austin Land. It is a funny movie.
Yeah, it's like it's a Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice parody.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you next time.